Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Rick dropping in on you. Hope everybody is having an unbelievable week to this point. I hope that your day has gotten off to a good start. You know me and the gravity and importance I place on getting your day off to a good start. Start your day with gratitude, start your day with a high expectation of what it is you plan on achieving. You don't control all of the external or exogenous circumstances and situations that's going to move upon you, but you do control the state of mind you're in when you engage it. You do control your response emotionally, mentally, physically, and how you do that consistently is the major indicator of how your life will turn out. So, again, start your day off great. Start your day off with a high expectation. Start your day off setting the standard of how you want to engage your day. Again, you're going to have challenges. You're going to have difficulty. You're going to have pushback. That's a part of the equation. Your goal is to manage the resistance of life in a way that it produces results of elevation, empowerment, growth, expansion. That's so important. So today is Wealth Building Wednesday, and I'm going to approach something that most people probably never think about, and it expands across the spectrum of growth and development, not just in finance, but in life, period. And it totally blows my mind how few people are even aware of what they need to be aware of in this area. This is again Wealth Building Wednesday, so I do want to point you to the description box to our flagship program, which is the Path to Generational Wealth course. Um, this course is a 10-year labor and love of me interviewing, researching, and talking to the greatest minds in finance investing. This is way bigger than my pay grade as far as I know. I learned a lot. I'm still learning a lot. I'm still building. I'm still growing. My area of expertise, first and foremost, is in human behavior, human performance, healing trauma, but also in business development. I have started and grown a multitude of businesses over time. Finance and business uh, are directly and inextricably connected, but they are two different entities. The world of finance is amazing to me, and again, it's something that I daily delve into. But what you find in this course are the brains spilt out of some of the best people in the game: the Ray Dalios, the Warren Buffetts, the David Swinsons, T. Boone Pickens, and on down the line. In one way or another, I chased them down. It took, again, 10 years because it's not like you pick up the phone and call these guys. But it was worth it to me. I learned so much. I'm still learning, but that course is fire and it's in there. Here's the thing. I am totally blown away by the number of people that I come in contact with who do come to me to work with me as a performance psychologist, a life strategist, life coach, whatever you want to call it. Some, come to me with more deeper issues, and we're talking trauma, healing, intervention, and things of that nature. But the vast majority are coming because they want to take their lives to the next level. And it's surprising to me how many people don't have a landing point. A landing point is knowing where you want to end up. What's your ultimate goal? What's your goal for where you want to be 90 days from now? What's your goal for where you want to be a year from now? What's your ultimate goal? How do you want your life to look when it's all said and done? What does that look like to you? Well, the same thing applies in finance. You hear people talking about, financial freedom, that you hear them talking about wealth and all of these different things. And I take time in this course, also in my writing, to define what wealth is, what rich means, what financial freedom is versus financial independence, and all these different things. But whatever your goal is, there has to be a landing point. That landing point is your number. So whatever it is you say you want to do, see, everybody doesn't have the same desires, and it's okay. But some people have no desires to own a private jet. to own a yacht, to own multiple homes in multiple countries. That's not their thing. They want to have a nice place to live. They want maybe somewhere they can vacation. They want to travel when they want to. They want to ensure that when retirement age comes, that they're set, and that they don't have to worry about their nest egg or their savings dwindling because they're outliving their savings, which is happening to a lot of baby boomers as they're starting to age into that retirement age. They're realizing that the planning that they didn't account for the fact that they are now living beyond the years they planned for. This is one of the reasons why I am adamant about a couple of things. One of the things I'm adamant about is savings can't be your only response to the need to be prepared for retirement, because savings is a dead state. It's just sitting there. If you're lucky, it's building 2 to 3%, but it's not outpacing inflation, which means the value of what you have saved is actually diminishing because you don't have it actively working. The other thing is you want to create streams, passive streams of income that continue to earn money after you retire. Not just have a savings, but have mechanisms that even though you are in a state of retirement, if that's what you choose, that you have money coming in, not just what you have put aside. You have money coming in. In other words, the goal is to give your money a job, and that job is to go in particular areas and spheres of the world of finance, investing, business ownership, and whatever, and create more streams. And so, in other words, money's job is to make more money, and the goal is to find a way to do that. And there are so many different ways, and things are getting volatile, and I think things may get a little more volatile later on in this year from some of the things that I've been studying and reading. But volatility comes opportunity, and it's about understanding the importance of how to recognize those opportunities and move. Some of the best advances have come through crisis investors investing when everybody else sees crisis and panic. Okay, finally, I'm just not a person that believes in retirement. Retirement is something that was created by the corporate mindset in order to push and make room for the cycle of employees. We weren't designed to get to a certain age and quit. We were designed to execute our purpose, execute our gifting, execute our passions until we left this place. That's where you find so much decline in cognitive function and physical mobility at the age of retirement, because the need to get up every day and do something literally with a purpose and an intent is what keeps the brain firing. The brain is like anything else in the body. The less you use it, the less capable and less functional it becomes. And so I've already said, as long as I'm breathing, I'm working. Now, my goal is to be in a situation where my work isn't required for me to sustain my lifestyle. But the goal is for me to work until my last breath, to be giving to the world what God gave me. The thing is, I'm speaking to some youth at a church, speaking, preaching, whatever you call it, to some youth at a church on Sunday, and the goal and the theme is stewardship. And the thing is, what are you doing with what God gave you? Not just money. Money is something you go out and get with what God gave you. What are you doing what God gave you? How have you used your gifting? How have you engaged your purpose? Wealth isn't just about fulfilling your wishes, desires, and fantasies. Wealth is about strengthening your capacity to fulfill your purpose. It's about putting yourself in a position to do what you were put here on this planet to do. And so there isn't a time where your purpose ends. It's not like, okay, it ends. Now I'm just going to sit back and watch the world pass by. And no, what you were designed to do is to carry out your and execute your gift throughout your life. And this may sound weird to you that we're talking about this in the scope of wealth building, but it's important to understand why so many things don't go the way we think they should in this world, because we have shifted the paradigms. We have shifted the scale and the design to fit us and to fit what we want to do. And what it does is puts us in a situation where we're not even close to executing or carrying out what we're capable of. We're not meeting the level of our design. And it shows in so many areas of society. Society is failing because we are failing. And the moment we start to step into our goals, step into our destiny, stop waiting on the perfect moment, stop passing up opportunities, start moving into situations, the quicker we're going to realize that we can change the world, and that we're not a victim of what's going on. We are the determining factor of what's going on. And when we start to do that, things will change. Look, you have to know your number. I said all of that to get to this. You have to know your number. What's that? Your number is you determine the type of lifestyle you want to live. What does it look like to you? Are you going to be the extravagant, ultra wealthy person, the person who has the jet, the person who jet sets, the person who has the yacht and the house in Milan and the house in the Hamptons and the house, in Fiji and all this stuff? And if so, you need to have an idea of what that costs. What does it cost to own a jet? What does it cost to fuel up and file a flight plan and get a jet off the runway? All that stuff has a price tag. What does it cost? What does real estate look like in Milan right now? What does real estate look like in the place you want to live in the continental US? What does it look like to be able to shop and buy the things you want to buy? And all that material stuff is good, but really truly ask yourself, what impression is it that I want to leave? Because I can tell you, over the course of my life, I've experienced some unbelievable things. I've been really truly blessed. Even in my bad moments, I've been blessed. But in my greatest moments, I've had some spaces in my life where I could have never even thought at some times that I would end up there. And I can tell you some of the most emptiest times was those times when money was in abundance and all the material things were there. There were cars in the driveway people wish they had. There was square footage that never got touched in the house. And yet I was up 3 o'clock in the morning pacing and couldn't understand why. And I called my mentor. My mentor had a conversation with me. He says, until you start walking in your purpose, you're not going to fill that space and that void in your soul with things. Ain't nothing wrong with things. But if you don't have something beyond the things, and so I tell people all the time, the first half of my life was about me. The second half of my life is about my legacy. What am I leaving behind? It doesn't mean that I'm not going to enjoy myself. It doesn't mean that I don't have goals to build some things and have some things for myself and to build something that I leave for my progeny. What I'm saying is, what will speak of you after you're gone? Your legacy. Your legacy is that thing that will speak of you after you leave this place. What will it say about you? Will it say that you had a bunch of things? Will people 10 years after you pass away care about what car you drove? How many square foot how many square feet were made up your home, and all of these things that you're chasing? That's for you. But what impact are you making in the world? How are you making your presence felt? That should also be a consideration when you're coming up with your number, when you're determining within yourself what it is you are going to do and be in this world. What will your great great grandchildren know about you that inspires them, that anchors them, that gives them confidence that they come from a stock of high performance and impactful people? You are writing a narrative and a story that will outlive you through your legacy. And a part of your legacy needs a part of what you need to be considering when you are determining this number that you have to have in order to meet it. Because why is it so important to have the number? Because this is going to be a part of this thing you've got to do. Your legacy has to be considered in the number. But you can have things, you can want things, you can desire to live the fruit of wealth. You can desire that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But your intent has to be to serve in some way, to impact the lives of people in some way. So then Why is it so important to have a number? Because if I don't have a number, I'm just aimlessly flopping about saying I want something. I can be working hard, but I don't have anything to aim at. If I don't have anything to aim at, if there's no target, I'm just tossing darts. I'm just going out there. I'm jumping out there. I'm trying to make myself end up somewhere that I'm not even sure where that is. Coming up with your number, what does it look like? How much money do you need in the next year to be on your way? What's your ultimate number to live the life? I mean, literally take some time to think about it. Whatever age you are, what is the life expectancy of your particular demographic? Add 5 years to that and say, I may live 5 years longer than the average guy from my demographic or the average woman from my demographic, and then sit up and say, this is the life I want to live. How much does it cost me to live this life every year? Multiply times the number of years that you have once you subtract your current age from that number or that age that you've projected you will live to. And then that's your number. And that's the thing you have to look at. And you have to determine how you're going to get there and how much of it you need incrementally each year to be on pace to have it all by a certain time. And these are the things that you have to understand. If you don't know your number, you can't aim. If you don't know what you want to become, you can't aim. If you don't know what you want to have, you can't aim. If you don't know who you want to impact, you can't aim. And when if you can't aim, you're wandering aimlessly. You're looking for some. That's how so many people get misdirected in life. It's because they have no sense of where they're going. When you don't have a sense of where you're going, when you don't have a sense of what you need, when you don't have a place that you know, this is where I belong, this is what I'm supposed to do, this is what I'm supposed to have, people can easily misguide you. They can easily mislead you. They can easily take you down roads that don't serve your interests well. They can easily have you in places that are non-conducive to the life you really truly feel inside you want to live. You got to be very specific about what you are desiring in this world. You got to be very specific about what you plan on becoming, because remember, it's not what you want that you get, it's what you're able to become. See, you can want something all day long, but if you're not capable of producing it, you'll never have it. You can't pray your way into it. You can't wish your way into it. You can't fantasize your way into it. God didn't design the world and the universe that way. What do you have to do? You have to determine the thing you want, and then you have to determine who you are in reference to what you must be in order to have it. And what you'll find is most of the things you don't have is because you haven't become the person capable of having it. And your goal and your responsibility is to become. Well, it's kind of hard to become when you don't know what you're becoming. So my challenge to each of you is to determine what it is, number one, you want to become. Determine what it is you want to have. Determine what it is you desire to be in this world. Who are you going to touch? What does it look like? Where do you need to be? How much do you need to have? Who do you need to connect with? How do you need to move? How do you need to think? These are things you must understand in order to be the best version of yourself, which is a responsibility of each and every person in this world, is to be the best version of themselves every given day, any given day. And if you're not doing that, then that is something that you are going to have to reconcile with you and the designer. You have a responsibility to show up in this world. You have a responsibility to show up in this world and make your presence felt. And I can tell you from experience, it's not easy. You're going to have some great moments, and you're going to have some setbacks. You're going to have some disappointments. You're going to have some frustrations. You're going to have moments when you cry. You're going to have moments when you feel alone. You're going to have moments when it feels like everything that can go wrong is going wrong. And your job is to stand firm and to believe in the total outcome of your purpose and your destiny, understanding that nothing can stop your destiny. Anything that gets in the way of your destiny only ensures that it happens. That's the nature and the definition of destiny. But you've got to get up. You've got to be willing to go out there. You're going to have to be willing to take risks. And that's one of the biggest problems I see with people, not just in the world of finance, but in the pursuit of greatness in this world is people are risk averse. They want it, but they don't want to put skin in the game. They want it, but they don't want to put anything up for it. They don't want to put anything out there. I'm going to tell you, um, I've said this so many times. Every great thing that I've ever achieved came behind a failure. I've lost things. I've lost money. I've lost friends. I've lost property. I've lost wealth. I've lost, a number of different things. But in doing that, it developed me and built me to gain things. The things that I gained, the things that I've accomplished, the things that people pat me on the back and write accolades and give me plaques for, the things people pay me to do now came because I took risks. I had to be willing to invest in me in a way that I became the person necessary to do what I aspire to do. And that is with anything. And it does not come easy. It comes with challenge. But I tell you, on the other side of challenge, on the other side of pain, on the other side of fear is reward. You've got to be willing to invest in yourself. You've got to be willing to put up. You're going to have to be willing to step out beyond your comfort zone. There's nothing going to happen in that place of familiarity. You're going to have to get out into spaces and explore. But when you do, you're going to find out that things will open up to you that you never thought was possible. But it begins with you believing that if I just move forward, God's universe will reward me for my faith. And then you stand up in it and you walk in it and you move out there. And finance is the same way. It is mechanism, it is practice, it is principle, but you have to walk it. You have to move in it, and you have to understand that because you're human, there are going to be times that you move in a way that you could not predict was going to bring you something uncomfortable and probably painful. But it's a part of the learning process. It's a part of the development of an expertise and a level of understanding that takes you to a place to where you're going to be good. You got to get there. And the number of people who will sit back from a corner of comfort and point into a sphere of unbelievable and limitless possibilities and say, I want it, but be refused, but be unwilling to move is amazing. We have to get out of that. We have to get to a point to where we're willing to stand up, and it extends beyond finance. It extends into what you're going to be as a parent, what you're going to be as a mate, what you're going to be in the world of business, what you're going to be in a societal world that needs you to have a presence and an impact. You weren't sent here to simply exist. You weren't sent here to simply survive. You are designed to be impactful in this world. And when you rest on your laurels, when you hide behind comfort, when you resist risk because you are afraid of being hurt, because you are afraid of losing, or you are afraid of getting knocked down, what you end up doing is failing to live up to the level of your design, failing the designer, failing your purpose, failing those who need and love you, failing those who will come or are meant to come into your periphery and be blessed. This thing is so much bigger than what you can see, but it starts with you saying, that's what I need. That's what I want. That's what I'm built for. That's what I'm going after. So yes, you need to know your goals. You need to know your number. What is your number to live the life that you really, truly dream about? Not that suppressed dream either. Throw that out the window. Those dwarf goals and colorless dreams, throw that crap out the window. What's the truth? What are you really dreaming? What's behind? What's the thing that you don't want to say because people will think you crazy? What's the thing that you don't want to talk about because nobody else around you thinks that big, dreams that big, looks that big, reaches that far? So you've been real quiet. You tossed it aside. It's starting to get dust on it. It's getting cobwebs on it. Why? Because you're not walking in. What is that? Pull that thing off. Dust that thing off. Pull it out and dust it off. That's the thing I want you to start focusing on. That thing that you had as a child that used to have you so excited, that people slowly shut down, squeezed, and talked you out of. Pull that thing off. Dust that thing off. Pull it out and dust it off. That's the thing I want you to start focusing on. That thing that you had as a child that used to have you so excited that people slowly shut down, squeezed, and talked you out of. Pull that one out. That's the one I want to see you jump on. That's the one I want to see you walk in. That's the one I want to see you fulfill. The world needs you to do it. God sent you to do it. It's time to do it. Look, I thank you for giving me your time. I thank you for sharing your time with me. I know your time is precious. I'm going to get away from here. But again, if you're ready to really, truly walk out a step-by-step process, this Path to Generational Wealth course is, again, a 10-year, literally a 10 plus year labor and love of chasing down the best minds in finance and investing and learning from them, and then taking what they shared with me and putting it into a course that I researched. I didn't just do an interview and go write it. I did a research. I looked at it. I backed it up, and then I put it in this course. Again, this is beyond my pay grade. These are the major players. These are the big guys. And they're telling me that everything they share with me, anybody could do on scale. And that's the thing. You start where you're at. You don't wait till some magic thing happens and gives you this unbelievable amount of money you can go invest. You got to create. If you got $5, start there. I'm going to say this and then I'm done. I did a 5-year study for the purpose of things just like this. I took $5, invested it in the S&P 500. Every week I added $4.67. I did it for 5 years. At the time I finished, I think I had invested a total of what, 200 and something bucks, but it had grew to $1,400. I did that a few years. I completed that study a couple of years back. Put it in one of my daughter's trusts. But what I wanted to do was show just how little you can start with and build with and double back in. And there's so much of this in that course, but just think about it. I just took one compound interest mechanism, an index fund, which is a passively managed mutual fund, the S&P 500, and started it with $5 and dumped an additional $4.60 something cents. I think it was $4.68 if I'm not mistaken, every week for 5 years, so 60 months. And at the end of it, I had only invested a total of less than $300, but it had produced $1,400 and something dollars. Start where you're at. Start where you're at. Don't let anybody tell you that because you are in a bad situation. There's something, think about it. There's something you're spending $5 a week on that you don't need, no matter where you are at in your finances. Just imagine if you can do that. If nothing else, you're setting your kid up for his first semester of college or whatever it is. Start thinking like that, but then start to realize how you're moving and how you grow and what you learn as you do it, and see all the other different mechanisms and ways to make it happen. I'm not telling you it's a get rich quick scheme. It's not. I'm not telling you that it's guaranteed no matter what you do, because you're going to experience some wins and some losses. That's why hedging is so important. I talked about that on Monday. But anyway, that's what I'm going to show you with. Look, as I always say, I live my life on full so that I leave this place on E. I challenge you to do the same thing. Don't you dare leave this place. Don't you dare die not having fulfilled your potential. On that note, I'm out of here. You guys have an unbelievable remainder of your day. Peace.